Okay, I'm making a video response to your video alcoholism. I want to start off here by showing you, because the terms I'm going to use are weird, because I'm going to be calling somebody that's not my biological mom, or my stepmom, or have any relation to me whatsoever mom, and my biological mom, Janine. So this is the woman I'm talking about when I say mom. That beautiful woman right there. She actually looks a lot like me. You can tell. This is good too. Anyway, so that's who I'm going to be talking about. Mom, I don't have a picture of my biological mom. Anyway, so... Oh, I thought I was burning myself with my hand. That's right. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, this is the last thing I have from my mom. She passed away 34 years ago. Anyway, I'm going to start off when I was little till now. I was about 9 months old, and I broke my arm at one of my babysitter's house. My makeup's running down my face. And they didn't realize that I broke my arm, which is kind of hard to believe considering I broke a bone. Like, why would you not realize that? So then my dad picked me up, and he noticed something weird about how I was holding my arm, and so he ended up taking me to my doctor, and they pronounced that I had a broken arm, and that was caused by me falling downstairs. So she didn't hear me fall down the stairs, so yeah, that was a good babysitter. Anyway, then my biological mom, Janine, moved away when I was, sorry, I'm texting my boyfriend, like 10, 11 months. Okay, weird text. Anyway, she moved away, and I really never talked to her. She moved, I live in Indiana, she moved to Arizona. I had talked to her on the phone maybe a few dozen times. Not much really, like Christmas, birthdays, that's about it. Like, cause if we were to call her, she wouldn't answer. I never knew that she was an alcoholic. I really didn't. But it turns out she was, well, is, but I knew my dad was, and so the first time, that really clicked in my head was the first time he got arrested, which I was 3, and I was staying over at one of my mom's best friend's house, well, my mom's best friend's ex-husband's house, and my brother's best friend's dad's house. At this point in time, they were married. So, I was over there. That probably made no sense to you. I was over there, and I wake up one morning, and it's like 9, and my dad was supposed to pick me up at 7 when he got off work, and because I was only there because, like, my dad didn't have a babysitter that night. Some crazy shit's happening where my boyfriend's at right now. Anyway, ow, I gauged my ear, my cartilage. So yeah, and I just slapped it. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so they set me down. Like, I haven't been in this house for a good 7, 8 years, but I still know how it was arranged, which is kind of bad because I remember this scene perfectly, and I was 3. And they have this table, so there's a wall here, and a wall here. It's backwards in there. And so the table went like that. So you couldn't sit here, but you could sit here because this table stopped like here, and went out to like here. And so the guy was, my brother's best friend's dad was sitting here, and I was sitting here, and his wife was leaning up against the counters over here. And, like, they did one of those things when they were just, like, you know, like, them disappointment looks. Like, you're just like, oh, what did I do? So I was sitting there, I was like, what did I do? Like, and then come to find out, they were like, well, I have some bad news, and, like, your dad's in jail. And so I was like, what? I mean, I didn't really understand the term jail at that point in time. And so, he was talking in his sleep. Anyway, that's cute. Anyway, he was like, so they explained the whole meaning of jail and what drinking was and what being arrested was to me at the age of 3. And so, like, we ended up going down to the jail that day. My brother would have been 7 and bailed my dad out. Then we went, like, I don't know past about either Janine or my dad, to be completely honest. I don't know nothing. They don't share with me or anything. Then the next incident that I remember my dad when I was in grade school and stuff, taking me up from school drunk, like, belligerent drunk. And, like, I could just be walking up to the car from the school and just look at him and tell he was drunk. I wouldn't have to smell the alcohol on his breath, talk to him, hear anything from him. I could just look at him and knew it. By the grade of 2nd, I knew he was drunk. I knew what it meant. I knew what it was. I mean, I found it in my house. And, like, I just completely failed typing. Oh well, you'll understand. Where was I? Oh yeah. And so, I mean, I would get in the car. We didn't live that far. We lived like a half mile from the school. So, I mean, it wasn't that far to drive. It was one road, no turns. Well, there was a turn, I guess, kind of. You had to turn onto the road I lived on. But, I mean, you didn't have to. I lived on a corner, so you could, like, turn and park, or, you know. Anyway, so, he'd pick me up from school, like, every day drunk. I would call the bar that he went to from school, because he wouldn't answer his phone, and, like, by the time he started getting really bad, I would end up calling my brother. I would have been about 5th grade. I would end up calling my brother, because then I lived across the street from the middle school. My brother would be home before I would. And so my brother would just walk home and see my dad passed out and be like, oh shit. And so then my brother would wake my dad up and be like, Dad, you gotta go get Katie. Dad, you gotta go get Katie. Dad, you gotta go get Katie. And then finally, I would always be the last one picked up. Like, they would have after school things. Like, I got out at 3. They'd have after school things till like 4:15, and I would be there till like 5 every day. And so then, like, so that's that. And then my mom came back when I was 4.5, stayed for a couple weeks, left again. She would always pick me up from preschool or kindergarten, whichever one I was in. I don't remember. 4.5, 5 years old. She would always pick me up there with my dad. My mom doesn't drive, but she'd be in the car with my dad. And one day she wasn't there, so I was like, Daddy, where's Mom? And he was like, she had to do some errands. So I was like, okay. So later on that night at like 10 o'clock, I woke up and I went downstairs. I was like, where's my mom? And my dad sat me down then, and he told me that she had moved back to Arizona. Then when I was 7, I was asleep up in my room when this happened, and my dad was coming home drunk again, and he got about 2 blocks away from my house. Yeah, 2 blocks exactly away from my house. And he got pulled over and he got arrested, and then So you get that one phone call, right? When you go to jail, you get that one phone call. And so he ended up calling my babysitter's fiance because he had to go to work early that morning, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to be at work in 45 minutes. I haven't even done crap today. I'm in jammies right now, kind of. This is what I wore yesterday, but I was tired, so I didn't change clothes. And so, my babysitter's fiance at that point in time ended up calling my babysitter. Well, not calling her, but yeah, calling her. Yeah, because he had already left for work. And so that woke her up, surprisingly. And then he was talking to her, and he was like, hey, you need to get to work because their dad went to jail. And she was like, shit. And so she got to my house at around 7:30, and I woke up at around 8:30, and I went downstairs. I saw her there, and I was like, my daddy doesn't work today, why are you here? And she was like, your daddy had to go do something, so I came here. It's too early for you to be up, go back upstairs and go to sleep. But right when she said that, there was a loud knock at my door, and I was like, who knocks that loud? And so I walked over to the back door, and there's 2 cops and another dude. And so I called her name. I don't know why I don't remember her name. It was like Debbie or some. It was some. Was it Rochelle? It might have been Rochelle. I've had so many babysitters because I would always push them away because I knew they weren't going to be permanent, and I always wanted somebody that would be. And so then she answered the door, and they were sitting there talking for a bit, and then that's when I found out my dad went to jail again. And so then, later on that day, we ended up going to bail my dad out. I didn't go to school that day. Sorry, I want to move my laptop here. Relax. And then my 3 years ago, Halloween, it would have been. Oh, let's backtrack a little bit. 3rd grade year, my dad gets a girlfriend. She became my babysitter. That was who this picture is. My ma. So blurry because I have a computer for some reason. My ma. And so she treated me like her daughter. Whenever my dad was drunk, she was an alcoholic too, but she never got belligerent. She would drink, she would get tipsy, you could say. But so this, that dream catcher up there is hers. It hasn't been down from there since she had died. The pictures, and that's the only thing I have left of her. She died when I was in 5th grade, so I knew her for 3 years, but I love her to death. She's my mom. I've got a tattoo on this shoulder that says I love you, and it's not finished yet. My boyfriend just messaged me on Skype and Facebook, and he's texting me. Weird. Anyway, no, it's probably because I didn't reply to a text he sent me. Anyway, I'm getting that finished. It's not finished yet. This shoulder is going to have Teresa Hamner, I love you. That it reads across. And all the R's, because Teresa Hamner was her name, all the R's in her name are going to be that dream catcher. So, I mean, that's going to mean a lot. And so then, anyway, on the story, this is 15 minutes long. Holy crap. I'm going to talk really fast because I'm almost done. This is the last event, kind of. 3 years ago, my dad got arrested again, and Kyle. Anyway, you're gonna have to wait on me. I'm sorry. Anyway, my dad it was Halloween. He told us, I mean, I was okay with it. He told us he was going to a party, and that he's going to spend the night there. That way he doesn't get arrested again. Well, that's not how it went. He went to a friend's house. He didn't go to no party. He went to a friend's house, out of town, and he planned to come home that night, and he was on his way home, and he would have made it. I do believe that he would have made it back. I mean, because when he's drunk, he doesn't drive, like, horribly bad. It's just the fact that the cops follow you from, yeah. And I've got this new messenger thing. Ooh, that's so freaking cool. It's a messenger app from Facebook. It's so cool. Anyway, oh, that's awesome. Oh, anyway, I'm freaking out about this little, anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, I have a horse, and his name is Shiloh. I wonder if I have a picture of him. Let's see. I should. I just gotta find my pictures. New phone, sorry. Oh, I gotta unconnect it. Sorry, my laptop just made a weird noise. It's because I unconnected my phone from it. Mobile uploads. Okay. This is me and my horse back when I had long hair. Oh, I do not want that picture. That picture is really gross. This picture. You should be able to see that fairly well. That's me and my horsey. Anyway, he was going to feed him. We'll bring him in. It was October 31st. So I mean, it's not too terribly cold. But I mean, it's chilly out there. But I mean, he's a horse. He has fur. Wild horses don't go inside. Anyway, so my dad ended up stopping at the horse barn, which it's not like I don't own it. I rent a stall there and everything. It's in the middle of the town. It's kind of cool. I live in a small little hillbilly town that has a horse barn in the middle of it. Who knows why, when there's cornfields and horse and ranches all around my town. Who knows what? No one knows. Like, the big towns don't even have them. But yet my tiny town has one. Anyway, he stopped there and he brought my horse in. My horse's name is Shiloh, by the way, and it's not spelled S-H-I-L-O-H, it's S-H-I-L-L-O-W. Because when I got him, I didn't know how to spell Shiloh. I had not read the book yet. Anyway, as he was pulling out, a cop was coming down, saw him, just turned the corner on another street, and as he pulled out, the cop followed him home, turned the lights on, turned the sirens on, and, we live about a mile from the horse barn. They followed him home. My dad parked the car, got out of the car, and started walking inside, like he didn't know there was a cop behind him. The cop ended up stopping him, and I'm thinking, where was I? Oh yeah, the cop ended up stopping him and arresting him that night. I ended up going to school. Like I said, I thought my dad was just at that party, so I knew nothing. I ended up going to school, and about third or fourth period, I get a call, from my mom. And, she's saying, hey, I'm coming over there, I'm coming to get you. Anyway, and so she ended up coming over there, explained to the assistant principal why I was leaving in the middle of the day, And so we went to the jail and we bailed my dad out. And I remember as we were walking out to her car, he was crying. Like, my dad, that's the only time I've ever seen my dad cry. But that time, I think he's done. He's still on probation. He hasn't drank since. But I'm hoping when he gets off of probation, he doesn't drink. Well, that's pretty, whoa, you're probably getting annoyed. This video is 20 minutes long because I've been thinking a lot of what I'm going to say. And anyway, so yeah, like, if you ever need help coping with it, I've coped with it pretty well. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten used to it. My parents drink. I don't talk to them. I will leave, and, like, they always complain that I'm out running the streets and stuff, and I'm just like, well, if I actually had parents my whole life, then I wouldn't be doing this. But, I mean, my mom's pretty much quit. She drinks every now and again. I mean, I'm fine with my parents drinking. Honestly, I am fine. The only thing that gets to me is they don't do it at home. They go out to bars, and they go out to casinos, and to hotels and stuff, and they get drunk there. And I'm just like, so you're gonna get drunk there and not stay there, and then come home and have the chance of getting arrested? Yeah, my mom, but right now, I don't need anybody drinking at my house because my dad's on probation, and we're not allowed to have alcohol in the house. And so my mom pretty much quit, but she is the reason that my dad started drinking again, actually. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, I mean, if you want to, like, message me back or something, I have a YouTube channel. I have, like, 4 of them. So, yeah. I guess I'll talk to you later. I have to be at work in 30 minutes. And it's like a crowd loud. And I gotta feed my horse. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, bye-bye.